Close your eyes now, my sweet friend, and let my voice become the softest blanket wrapping around you tonight. Breathe in slowly through your nose, feel the cool air filling your chest, and breathe out even slower, letting every little worry drift away. Tonight we are going on the gentlest journey together, back to a warm summer in 1950s rural Japan. Back to a creaky old house surrounded by whispering camphor trees. Back to the world of two little sisters and a forest spirit who only appears when the rain falls just right. This is the complete bedtime story of My Neighbor Totoro, told so slowly, so softly, that every word feels like a fingertip brushing your hair. I will spoil every single moment, every hidden feeling, every tiny sound and scent, because you deserve to sink completely into this memory and let it carry you to sleep. Whenever you're ready, let your body grow heavy, let the outside world fade, and allow my whispers and the distant patter of summer rain to be the only things that exist. Imagine the screen of your mind turning soft and silvery, like moonlight on still water. The year is 1958. A rickety old truck bumps along a dusty country road, its engine humming low, almost like a lullaby. Inside the open back sit two little girls. Satsuki, the older one, about 10, with her short brown hair and bright, brave smile, and May, only 4, round-cheeked, curious, clutching a little straw hat on her head. Their father, Professor Kusakabe, drives, laughing gently, his glasses glinting in the sun. They are moving to a big, old, slightly haunted-looking farmhouse, so they can be closer to the hospital, where their mother is recovering from an illness that has no name in the film, but we feel it in our hearts. Long, quiet, worrying. The air smells of cut grass and warm earth. Dragonflies hover over rice paddies that shimmer like mirrors. You can almost taste the dust on your tongue and feel the gentle bounce of the truck beneath you. As they pull up to the house, the wood is dark with age. The windows smile crookedly, and the garden is completely overgrown. Satsuki and Mei leap out and run, barefoot, laughing, their voices echoing. The moment they step inside, sunlight spills through paper screens in golden patches, dust motes dancing like tiny fairies. The floorboards creak in the most comforting way, like the house is saying welcome home in its own sleepy voice. Father kneels and tells them the house might have soot sprites, little black dust creatures that live in empty homes. May's eyes grow huge. And do you know, dear listener, the very first trivia that makes this even more magical? Hayao Miyazaki based those soot sprites on the actual dust bunnies he saw rolling under his childhood bed. He wanted children everywhere to feel that old houses are alive with gentle spirits, never scary ones. Have you ever moved to a new place and felt both excited and a tiny bit afraid at the same time? Maybe your heart beat a little faster when the lights went out the first night. That's exactly how Satsuki feels, even though she hides it behind her big sister's smile. She wants to be strong for May and for Mother. Let that feeling settle in your chest for a moment, then breathe it out, slowly, softly, letting it dissolve into the evening air. The girls explore every corner, sliding doors that rattle gently, a huge iron bathtub that echoes when you tap it, an attic ladder that groans like an old friend. Outside, giant camphor trees tower, their leaves whispering secrets in the breeze. Granny, the kind neighbor with the warm, wrinkled smile, brings them fresh vegetables and tells them the trees are hundreds of years old and full of magic if you know how to listen. The evening sky turns peach and lavender, cicadas begin their endless summer song, and the three of them, father and daughter's granny, sit on the veranda eating watermelon, red juice running down their chins, laughing until their bellies hurt. Everything feels possible here. Everything feels safe. Now, let your shoulders drop a little more. Feel the mattress cradle you. Hear the faint sound of rain beginning far away, like someone gently tapping on a tin roof miles from here. That rain is coming closer, and it will carry us deeper into the story very soon. For now, just rest in this golden moment of arrival, of new beginnings, of a house that already loves its new family. You are safe, you are held, and the forest is waiting, very quietly waking up. The next morning dawns soft and milky, the kind of light that makes everything look like it is underwater in the gentlest dream. Satsuki wakes first, stretches under the thin summer blanket, and feels the wooden floor cool against her bare feet. She pads to the kitchen where father is already humming, his fountain pen scratching across paper as he works on his university translations. May is still curled like a kitten, one arm flung over her stuffed bunny. The smell of miso soup and grilled fish drifts through the house, warm, salty, comforting. Granny arrives with a basket of cucumbers so fresh they still carry morning dew. She laughs that deep country laugh and tells the girls to go play, that the forest behind the house is the best playground in the world. The sisters run outside in their cotton dresses, sandals slapping against the dirt path. Sunlight filters through the leaves and trembling coins of gold. They discover a tiny stream, no wider than your arm, where tadpoles wiggle like black commas. May kneels so close, her nose almost touching the water, and whispers, "Hello," to each one. Satsuki watches her little sister with that mixture of pride and worry only big sisters know. Do you remember, sweet listener, the first time you felt responsible for someone smaller than you? How your heart grew 3 sizes in a single heartbeat. Let that warmth bloom in your chest now. Then breathe it out like steam on a cold morning. They follow the stream upward until the trees grow so tall the sky becomes a puzzle of green pieces. Suddenly May stops. She has seen something moving between the trunks, small, black, fluffy like soot with tiny shining eyes. She toddles after it without fear, calling, "Wait! Come back!" Satsuki chases, heart thumping. The creature disappears into a tunnel of branches so low only a child could fit. May crawls in without hesitation, dress catching on twigs, knees scraping softly. Satsuki hesitates 1 second, then follows. Inside the tunnel, the air is cooler, smells of moss and wet earth. Sunlight stripes their backs. They emerge into a hidden clearing, and there, sleeping against the enormous roots of the biggest camphor tree you have ever imagined, is a creature neither girl has words for yet. Medium-sized, gray-white fur, round belly rising and falling, mouth open in a peaceful O, tiny snores fluttering the leaves above him. 2 even smaller creatures, one medium, one tiny, nestle against his fur like babies. May whispers, awestruck, "Totoro." The big one opens his eyes, yellow, gentle, ancient. He does not speak, only tilts his head. The girls freeze, half terrified, half enchanted. Then May does the bravest thing. She steps forward and places her small hand on his tummy. It is softer than anything, like lying on a cloud made of kitten fur. Totoro smiles a smile so wide it splits his whole face, and he lets out a low, rumbling "Ooh!" that vibrates through the ground and into their bones. Satsuki feels tears prick her eyes for reasons she cannot explain. Have you ever met someone or something that felt like coming home before you even knew you were lost? Hold that feeling. Let it settle behind your ribs like warm tea. Trivia time, whispered just for you. Miyazaki originally drew Totoro without a name. During production, the staff simply called him "that big thing." And only when the girls in the story shouted "Totoro" did the creature finally receive the name we all know. Sometimes magic names itself when children are brave enough to speak first. The afternoon drifts. Father comes looking, calling their names in that calm professor voice. The girls tumble out of the forest flushed and silent, unable to explain. That night they take their first bath in the huge iron tub. Water thunders from the outdoor pump. Steam rises like friendly ghosts. Father scrubs their backs while they giggle and splash. May keeps glancing toward the dark window, hoping to see yellow eyes. Upstairs they change into yukata, that smell of sun and starch. Father reads them a picture book by lantern light, but the pages turning with soft papery sighs. The girls fall asleep almost instantly, but Satsuki dreams of a giant creature carrying an umbrella made of leaves. Days melt into each other like honey. The girls help Granny in the fields, carrying water in tin buckets that slosh cool against their legs. They learn to tell when rain is coming by the smell of the soil turning sweet. One afternoon the sky bruises suddenly purple. Thunder rolls far away like someone moving furniture in heaven. Father is at the university. Granny is napping. The sisters are alone when the storm breaks. Rain lashes the roof in silver sheets. Wind rattles the paper doors until they flap like scared birds. May presses her face to the glass and gasps, because there, under the dripping camphor tree, stands the medium-sized spirit again, holding a leaf over his head like an umbrella that does absolutely nothing. Beside him now is the biggest one, Totoro himself, completely dry somehow, holding a huge real umbrella made of woven bamboo and oiled paper. He looks straight at the house, straight at May, and grins that enormous grin. May grabs Satsuki's hand and pulls her outside into the downpour without shoes, without coats. Rain is warm, almost hot. Summer rain that smells like cut grass and electricity. Their dresses cling instantly. They run across the muddy yard, feet squishing, laughing, because fear and joy feel exactly the same in their chests. Totoro watches them come. When they reach him, he bends low, slow as a mountain bowing, and offers the umbrella first to May. She takes it with both hands. It is so big it lifts her off the ground for a second. Satsuki steps under too. The three of them stand together under that one umbrella while the storm roars around them like it is celebrating. Totoro's fur smells like cedar and rain and something sweeter, something no human word has ever held. Have you ever stood in a storm and suddenly felt perfectly safe? Let that memory, real or imagined, wrap around you now like the softest towel. Then Totoro does something wondrous. He opens his mouth and roars, not scary, but joyful. A roar that makes the raindrops bounce upward for a second. He hops once, twice, and the ground trembles gently. The girls copy him, jumping, splashing. Every time their feet land, tiny new sprouts push through the mud as if the earth itself is laughing with them. They dance until they are breathless, until the storm softens into a whisper. When they finally look up, Totoro and the smaller spirits are gone. only the giant umbrella left leaning against the tree like a promise. The girls walk back soaked and shining. That night they hang their dresses by the aurora hearth and watch steam rise like friendly spirits saying goodnight. Father comes home late, smells the rain on their hair, and simply smiles, because fathers sometimes know magic when they see it in their children's eyes. Let the sound of that gentle hearth crackle in your ears now. Let the warmth reach your fingertips and toes. We still have farther to go, but for tonight, rest here in the glow of new friendship, in the certainty that the forest has chosen you, too. The summer deepens, slow and golden, like honey poured from a jar that never quite empties. Morning after morning, the cicadas start their electric song before the sun is even fully up, and the air smells of warm pine needles and distant sea salt carried on the breeze. Satsuki walks to school alone now, her wooden sandals clack, 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 clack along the dusty path, red Randaseru backpack bouncing between her shoulder blades. She passes rice fields where old farmers bow to her with quiet smiles, and every time she crosses the little wooden bridge, she pauses to look for the medium-sized spirit by the stream, but he never appears in daylight. At school she sits straight-backed at her desk, pencil scratching softly, yet her mind keeps drifting back to the umbrella still leaning against the camphor tree, now dry and waiting like a sleeping animal. May stays home with Granny, following her everywhere like a round shadow. They weed the vegetable patch together, fingers sinking into cool black soil. Pull long white radishes that smell sharp and clean, hang laundry on bamboo poles where it flaps like friendly flags. May chatters non-stop about Totoro, drawing him again and again on any scrap of paper she finds. Big belly, tiny ears, enormous smile. Granny only chuckles and says, "Ah, the master of the forest has taken a liking to you two. That hasn't happened in many years." Do you have a childhood drawing you still remember every line of, sweet listener? A creature only you could see. Let yourself smile at that memory now, soft and private, the way May smiles when she adds an extra-large acorn to Totoro's hand. One quiet afternoon, the sisters decide to plant the acorns they collected the day they first met Totoro. They kneel in the garden, small hands pressing the smooth brown nuts into the earth, patting the soil gently, gently, the way you would pat a sleeping cat. May whispers to each acorn, "Grow big and strong, okay?" Satsuki waters them from a tin can, droplets sparkling like tiny stars before they disappear into the ground. That night they fall asleep staring out the window at the spot of turned earth, moonlight painting everything silver. And in the deepest part of the night, when even the crickets rest, something extraordinary happens. Satsuki wakes to the faintest glow outside, pale green, almost ghostly. She slips from her futon, careful not to wake May or Father, and tiptoes to the garden. There, in the moonlight, stand the three spirits, the tiny white one, the medium blue one, and Totoro himself, huge and luminous. They are dancing in slow circles around the freshly planted acorns, arms raised, feet barely touching the ground. Totoro's mouth is open in silent song. As Satsuki watches, hidden behind the sliding door, the spirits begin to spin faster, fur glowing brighter, and the earth answers. Tiny green shoots push upward, unfurling leaves, stretching, thickening, reaching for the stars in impossible time. Within minutes, A circle of baby camphor trees stands tall and proud, where only bare soil had been hours before. The spirits bow to the new trees, then to the sleeping house, then simply vanish like mist. Satsuki runs back to bed, heart pounding with wonder, and shakes Mei awake. Together they press their faces to the window just in time to see the last leaves settle. Mei's eyes are perfect circles. "They grew them for us," she breathes. Satsuki can only nod, tears sliding silently down her cheeks. Have you ever witnessed something so beautiful it hurt a little? Right here under your ribs? Let that sweet ache visit you now, then let it soften into warmth. The next morning the little grove still stands. No longer giant, just knee-high saplings swaying gently as if they had always been there. Father is astonished, but accepts it the way gentle scholars accept miracles, with quiet gratitude. Granny claps her hands and declares it a blessing from the forest itself. The girls spend the day weaving grass rings and placing them around the baby trees like crowns. But not every day is magic. Some days are made of waiting and worry. Letters come from the hospital. Mother's discharge has been delayed again. The word tuberculosis is never spoken aloud, yet it hovers in the corners of every room like dust that refuses to settle. Satsuki reads the letters first, shielding Mei, then folds them with careful fingers and tucks them into Father's sleeve. She starts doing more chores without being asked, sweeping the ingawa until it gleams, carrying water from the well until her shoulders ache, smiling so no one sees the fear behind her eyes. At night she lies awake listening to Mei's soft breathing and counts the wooden beams in the ceiling until the numbers blur. One especially heavy evening, thunder growls far away again. Rain taps the roof like impatient fingers. Father is late coming home from the university. The phone lines are down. Satsuki lights the lanterns early, their orange glow trembling on the walls. Mei sits on her lap, unusually quiet. "Will Mama be home for the festival?" she asks in the smallest voice. Satsuki's throat closes. She strokes Mei's hair and whispers, "Of course she will," but the words taste uncertain. Have you ever had to be the brave one when everything inside you felt like crumbling paper? Breathe into that memory now, slowly, and notice how strong you actually were, even when you felt weakest. They decide to send Mother a telegram in the morning. Satsuki writes it over and over on scrap paper. "We are fine. The garden is growing. We love you." Mei adds a drawing of Totoro holding Mother's hand. The rain keeps falling, soft, endless, washing the world clean. And in that steady rhythm of raindrops on leaves, on roof tiles, on the surface of the small pond behind the house, we will pause here for tonight. Let the sound carry you deeper into relaxation. Feel your legs growing heavier, your arms loose and warm. The hardest part of the story is coming, but you are safe, you are held, and Totoro is watching over all of us from the edge of the forest. The morning after the endless rain feels washed brand new, every leaf dripping diamonds, every spiderweb a necklace of light. Satsuki wakes before the roosters and finds Mei already dressed, shoes on the wrong feet, clutching her little straw hat. "I'm going to the hospital to give Mama the telegram myself," Mei announces with 4-year-old certainty. Satsuki tries to explain that the hospital is 7 kilometers away, that buses don't run that far for little girls, that Mother isn't even strong enough for visitors yet, but Mei's chin trembles and her eyes fill with the stubborn tears only younger siblings can produce. Before Satsuki can stop her, Mei has slipped out the door and is running down the muddy path, small legs pumping, straw hat flying behind like a kite. Satsuki's heart drops straight through her stomach. She races after her sister, shouting her name until her throat burns. But Mei is surprisingly fast when she's determined. By the time Satsuki reaches the main road, Mei has vanished between the rice paddies. Panic, real and sharp, slices through the morning air. Satsuki runs to Granny's house first. Granny drops her basket of greens and immediately organizes the neighbors. Soon the whole village is searching. Old men on bicycles, women with babies tied to their backs, children fanning out, calling, "Mei-chan! Mei-chan!" in voices that tremble between hope and fear. Hours crawl by. The sun climbs higher, hot and merciless now. Satsuki's sandals blister her heels. Her voice is hoarse. She checks the stream, the shrine, the abandoned rice storehouse. Every place Mei has ever hidden to play. Nothing. The kindness of the villagers only makes the terror worse, because every gentle hand on her shoulder reminds her how fragile everything suddenly is. Have you ever lost sight of someone you were supposed to protect, even for a second, and felt the world tilt sideways? Let that memory surface now, just long enough to notice how tightly you are holding your breath. Then exhale it out, long and slow, trusting that the story will hold us both. Late afternoon paints the sky-bruised peach. Satsuki stands alone at the edge of the camphor forest, tears finally spilling because no one is watching. She whispers, "Totoro, please. I can't find her." The wind answers by rustling the leaves in a way that feels almost like a sigh. Satsuki wipes her face with the sleeve of her dress and walks deeper into the trees than she has ever gone alone. Branches brush her cheeks like cool fingers. The air smells of mossy and secret. She reaches the hidden tunnel of green where they first crawled through weeks ago. Without hesitation, she drops to her hands and knees and crawls inside, dress snagging, heart hammering. She emerges into the sacred clearing, and there he is. Totoro, sitting cross-legged on the enormous roots, eyes closed, breathing slow and deep as mountains. The smaller spirits are curled against him like kittens. Satsuki runs forward and falls at his feet. Words tumble out between sobs. "Mei is gone. She went to find Mama. I promised I'd take care of her. Please help me." Totoro opens those ancient yellow eyes slowly, places one huge paw on top of her head. Warm, steady, smelling of cedar and rain. Then he stands, stretches until his head brushes the sky, and lets out the deepest, roundest roar you have ever heard. It is not loud, yet it travels everywhere at once. Leaves shiver. Birds spiral upward. Somewhere far away, a certain striped catbus pricks up its ears. Totoro looks down at Satsuki, grins that impossible grin, and offers her his paw. She takes it without thinking. The moment her fingers touch his fur, the world tilts gently, like stepping onto a slow-moving carousel. Wind rushes past her ears, sweet and cool. When she opens her eyes, she is standing on Totoro's soft belly, holding tight to his fur, and he is spinning a top made of pure light. No, wait, it's the umbrella. The same bamboo and paper umbrella from the rainy night, spinning faster and faster until it becomes a glowing circle. Totoro leaps. The clearing falls away beneath them. They are floating upward through the canopy, leaves parting like curtains, moonlight pouring over them like milk. Trivia, whispered gently into your ear while we drift. The Catbus was almost cut from the film because the animators thought audiences would find it too strange. Miyazaki insisted, saying, "Children understand that cats can be buses if they need to be." He was right. Every child who has ever watched has believed instantly. Up and up they rise until the village is a tiny patchwork quilt far below, lights twinkling on one by one as evening settles. Totoro points with one claw, and there, running along a distant ridge path, is the smallest figure in a yellow dress and straw hat May. She is crying but determined, muddy to her knees, clutching the crumpled telegram in one fist. Satsuki's relief is so huge, it almost knocks her off Totoro's tummy. Totoro roars again, softer this time, a summoning purr that rumbles through the clouds. From the darkness between the stars comes the most wonderful sound. Hollow, wooden, cheerful, the rapid patter of many paws on air. Headlights appear, 12 of them glowing like fireflies, and the Catbus lands beside them with a gentle whoosh of warm fur and night breeze. Its grin is enormous, eyes bright as station lamps, tail swishing. Inside, the seats are soft cat bellies that breathe in and out. Totoro nudges Satsuki forward. She steps through the wide, smiling mouth and settles into the warmth. Totoro climbs in after, folding his huge body like an accordion until he fits perfectly. The doors, rows of sharp white teeth, close with a friendly click. The Catbus takes off, running along the treetops, leaping from cloud to cloud, wind whistling through its whiskers. Satsuki looks out the window and sees rice fields far below rushing past like green rivers, telephone wires dipping and rising like jump ropes, the moon racing alongside them. She has never felt so safe and so free at the same time. Have you ever been carried on a journey that felt impossible until something magical simply decided to carry you? Let that lightness fill your body now, from toes to scalp. The bus skids to a halt on the ridge path. May looks up, startled. Then her face breaks into the biggest smile in the world. "Totoro!" she cries, and runs straight into his arms. He lifts her high, twirls her once, settles her on his shoulder like a parrot. Satsuki joins them, hugging May so tightly they both squeak. Tears and laughter mix with the scent of night flowers. The Catbus purrs, engine idling, patient and warm. And here, dear sleeper, let the motion of the Catbus rock you the way it rocks the sisters, gentle, endless, safe. Feel your body growing heavier with every breath. We are almost at the quietest part of the story, but not quite yet. Rest now inside this glowing moment of reunion. Nothing can harm you here. The Catbus does not take them home right away. Instead, it turns its great grinning face toward the distant city lights, ears swiveling like radar dishes, and with one joyful bound it leaps off the ridge and soars over the dark countryside. Wind rushes through its fur in warm waves. Inside, the sisters sit side by side on the softly breathing seats, May curled sleepily against Totoro's vast belly, Satsuki holding her little sister's hand so tightly her knuckles are white. The windows show the world sliding past in streaks of silver and indigo. Rice paddies become mirrors for the moon. Telephone poles bow politely as the bus races by. A lone night heron lifts off a pond in surprise. Totoro hums a low, round note that vibrates through the floor and into their bones, the same note he used to make the trees grow. It feels like the whole night is singing them onward. They reach the city sooner than should be possible. Street lamps flicker below like strings of paper lanterns. The Catbus slows, pads softly along rooftops, tail balancing perfectly, until it stops on the tiled roof of the hospital where Mother is. It lowers its head until its smile almost touches the window of the ward. Inside the room, dimly lit by one small lamp, Mother sits propped against pillows, thin but smiling, reading a letter, their letter, the one with May's drawing of Totoro holding her hand. Father is there too, glasses glinting, asleep in a chair with his head on the bed. The sisters press their faces to the glass. May waves the crumpled telegram like a white flag. Mother looks up, startled, then her whole face softens into the gentlest, most wondering smile you have ever seen. She cannot hear them, but she feels them. She places a hand on the window as if she could reach through and touch their cheeks. Satsuki feels tears sliding warm down her own face and does not bother to wipe them away. Trivia, whispered so softly only you can hear. Miyazaki animated this exact hospital scene from memories of his own mother, who spent years in a tuberculosis sanatorium when he was a boy. He said he drew her smile that night because it was the one thing that kept his childhood from falling apart. Let that smile settle over you now, like moonlight on still water. Totoro lifts one huge paw, and very gently taps the glass once, twice, 3 times. A soft breeze carrying the scent of camphor leaves slips into the room. Mother breathes it in, closes her eyes, and for the first time in months her breathing sounds completely peaceful. May yawns an enormous yawn, straw hat slipping over one eye. Totoro gathers both girls closer, wrapping them in arms that feel like the safest bed in the universe. The Catbus purrs once more, turns away from the city lights, and begins the journey home. This time the ride is slower, dreamier. Stars drift past the windows like fireflies. The bus runs along the Milky Way for a while, paws silent on the Silver River, then drops gently back into the forest. It stops at the great camphor tree. Totoro steps out, carrying both sleeping sisters as easily as feathers. He lays them on the soft moss at the tree's roots, tucks May's hat under her arm, smooths Satsuki's hair from her damp forehead. The smaller spirits appear, bringing 2 perfect camphor leaves that they place over the girls like blankets. Totoro looks up at the moon, nods once as if thanking an old friend, then simply fades into the trunk of the tree until only his smile remains for a second, hanging in the air like the Cheshire Cat, before it too disappears. Morning finds the sisters waking in their own futon, sunlight striping the tatami, birds singing as if nothing extraordinary happened. For one heartbeat, Satsuki thinks it was all a dream, but May is still clutching a single camphor leaf the size of an umbrella, and on the veranda sits a small pile of fresh corn cobs still in their green husks, left by someone with very large hands. Granny finds them there, blinking in confusion, and simply opens her arms. No questions. Only hugs that smell of sun and soap. Later that day, a telegram arrives from Father. Mother is suddenly, miraculously better. The doctors cannot explain it, but she will be coming home next week after all. The whole village celebrates with cold barley tea and watermelon. The girls run to the baby tree grove and find every sapling has grown another handspan overnight, leaves shimmering with dew that looks exactly like tiny tears of joy. Have you ever received news that made your heart feel too big for your chest? Let that feeling rise now, then settle, warm and quiet, behind your ribs. One last gentle trivia before we close the book tonight. The very final shot of the film, the one with Mother walking home along the country road, while Totoro and friends watch from the treetops, was animated by Miyazaki himself, frame by frame, because he said only he knew exactly how hope should look when it finally arrives. And now, dear sleeper, feel the story folding itself around you like the softest quilt. The house is quiet. The forest is quiet. Even the cicadas have lowered their voices to a lullaby. Totoro is still there, somewhere just beyond the window, breathing in time with you. Every breath you take out carries away the last speck of worry. Every breath you take in fills you with cedar-scented peace. You are home. You are held. You are loved beyond measure. Sleep now, my sweet friend. The Catbus will wait if you need it again tomorrow night. But for now, only darkness and gentleness, and the faintest smile of a forest spirit watching over your dreams. Good night. The night has grown so quiet that even the quiet feels like it is breathing with you. Outside your window, somewhere far beyond the real world, the great camphor tree stands bathed in moonlight, its leaves barely trembling, as if it is listening to make sure you are truly ready to drift away. The last embers of the story are still glowing, soft orange and gold, and I will stay here with you until they fade completely into the sweetest dark. Let your body sink 1 inch deeper into the mattress. Feel the sheet cool against your ankles, the pillow perfectly cradling the curve of your neck. Every muscle that has ever held tension is now allowed to melt, slow as warm candle wax. You do not need to do anything, think anything, hold anything. The story has already done its gentle work. It has carried your worries on the back of a grinning Catbus, flown them high above the rice fields, and let them dissolve into starlight. Listen. Somewhere very near, almost inside your ear, is the faintest sound of summer rain beginning again, only a few drops at first, tapping on broad camphor leaves like fingertips on a wooden drum. Tap, tap, tap. Each drop is a promise that everything lost will be found, everything broken will be mended, every frightened child, weary grown-up, aching heart, all will be gathered up and carried home. The rain grows a little stronger, steady, patient, the same rhythm as Totoro's deep, round breathing. Let it match your own breath now. In 2, 3, 4. Out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Good. Again. You are doing perfectly. Do you remember the scent of Mother's hospital room when the camphor breeze slipped in through the window? Clean cotton sheets, a hint of green tea, and underneath it all, the unmistakable smell of safety returning. Hold that scent in your nose for one more slow inhale. Let it settle in your lungs like a small bird coming home to nest. A final tiny trivia, whispered only because you have stayed with me this far. When the film was first released in 1988, it shared its cinema bill with Grave of the Fireflies. 1 theater, 2 films, one about the purest joy of childhood, one about its deepest sorrow. Audiences left crying for opposite reasons, yet Miyazaki said both stories were medicines for the same wound, the fear that the world is too harsh for gentle hearts. Tonight, you have taken the joyful medicine. May it stay inside you always. And one last of all, one more quiet question, softer than moonlight. Have you ever felt, even for a second, that an invisible friend was sitting at the edge of your bed, smiling a smile so wide it split the dark in two? If you feel that now, you are right. Totoro is here. Not the character, not the drawing, but the feeling itself. The same feeling Miyazaki poured into every frame so that any child, anywhere, any age, could borrow it when the night felt too big. That feeling has your hand. It will not let go until morning, and even then it will only step back into the forest quiet, waiting for the next time you need it. The rain has become the gentlest hush now, more memory than sound. The Catbus's headlights have dimmed to fireflies. The soot sprites have curled into tiny black balls under your bed and are snoring in perfect unison with you. Satsuki and Mei are asleep in their attic room, camphor leaf blankets pulled to their chins, dreaming the same dream you are slipping into now. There is nothing left to wait for, nothing left to fix, nothing left to prove. You are exactly where you are meant to be, held, safe, loved beyond words, beyond time, beyond even the need for words. Let the last tiny light behind your eyes go out, soft as a candle kissed by a child's breath. The forest exhales with you. Good night, my dear one. Totoro is watching. Sleep as deeply as the oldest tree. Sleep as freely as summer rain. Sleep and wake up new.